Lisa, Phil, welcome. Phil, to you first. We're talking about mental health so much more. I think that's a given, especially in the workplace. But are we where we should be?
No, I would say we're really in the bottom of the first inning. I spent the last 8 years before Project Healthy Minds at BlackRock, and where I worked on a lot of the climate and ESG issues. And I was saying to Lisa the other day, it feels to me like we are today on mental health where a lot of corporate America was on climate about 10 years ago. And you have, coming out of the pandemic, every business now is focused on what can they do for their employees on mental health, but they're really just at the very beginning stages of it. And I think the next 10 years is going to be about companies rethinking sort of what is the obligation of the company to help employees on mental health. There's an interesting study that came out from MetLife. In 2019, MetLife surveyed a whole bunch of employees to look at what expectations do companies have for their employers on mental health. And in 2019, before the pandemic, 60% of employees said that they don't want their companies involved at all in their own mental health. A year later, that number had inverted. 62% of employees now expect their companies to do something on mental health. So I would say we're in the bottom of the first inning.
Lisa, what does all this mean for the workplace?
Well, I think what it means is, one, getting companies to join Project Healthy Minds and the studies that we're doing, and we've made some tremendous progress. The other is, and I've seen it just in the past 6 weeks with Boston Consulting Group, where I'm an executive coach within Boston Consulting Group, and my emails have lit up in the past few weeks asking me if I have time, which of course, the answer is yes, to coach. In this case, it's been a handful of young women who are on a high career trajectory, who are feeling overwhelmed and inundated, and they want to be coached by someone who has been through it before. And I think companies knowing, wow, BCG has this resource. And I also think being more open about it in the workplace. So, and Phil and I have talked about this a lot, but Thursdays at 3:00 Pacific time, I have therapy. Someone says, could you meet then? I'm like, no, I have therapy then. Instead of just saying I'm busy, making it more of a conversation, because what I'm finding is so many people admire senior executives that have accomplished a lot, and it all looks so easy. And I think it's really important to share that I'm in therapy, my kids are all in therapy, how much it helps us, how much it helps us in the workplace. And I just think being more open about it in the workplace will be a key transition.
You can't manage what you don't measure. And most companies today have no real measurement framework in place for measuring the mental health of their own workforce. They look at benefits utilization data. They look at how many people are calling the EAP, but it's a really insufficient way. I mean, for example, if the EAP utilization goes up, if more people are calling a hotline, is that a net positive or a net negative? You could argue both sides of that. And so I think investing the resources in actually building real measurement programs so that you can understand how your workforce is doing, and understanding that you can't think about mental health of your workforce as a singular question. What female leaders are going through is different than what a 23-year-old living in an urban center with no family to care for is going through. And so I think that's part of what sort of this next frontier looks like.
Phil, Lisa, thank you so much.
Thank you.
Thanks for having us.